Okay, everyone, welcome. It's 11 a.m. here in Philadelphia, where I am located. Wherever you are located is home. We're all together at home in the spiritual sense. My name is Cantor Lizzie Shamash, and on behalf of the Institute for Jewish Spirituality, I welcome you to the online Jewish Yoga Studio. If you're here for the very first time, a special welcome. And if you're here every week, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, of our hearts, for being part of this beautiful circle. So our practice today, we'll use a chair and a belt or a strap, as well as you always want to have a blanket is good. So as you're gathering your props and getting ready, just a couple of announcements from the Institute. Registration is open now for Awareness in Action. That's going to be for the Omer edition, an 8-week Midot practice. It is free and live, and an hour weekly online session with Rabbi Nicole Auerbach from Central Synagogue in Manhattan. So we have the link for that over in the chat, and registration is also open for second level Awareness in Action. If you've already done it one time through, live weekly practices with our faculty members, Rabbi Sam Feinsmith, Rabbi Miriam Klotz, and Rabbi Mark Margolius. So if you have time and inclination during the Omer, please take a look at that. That'll be a really nice practice. So let's get started. We're going to start actually on the back. We're going to do a few minutes of warm-up and then a little bit of teaching and kind of situating our practice, and then we will continue with practice after the teaching. So welcome. It's the 11th day of the second month of Adar, which means Purim begins Wednesday night. Wednesday night and Thursday is Purim, and we'll be talking about that a little bit today. So let's begin on the back. Have your strap nearby. We're going to grab it in a moment. Lying supine, you may want something under your head to support your head and neck, or see what you need. Just begin to land here. Knees bent, soles of the feet on the floor, elbows bent. And take your palms and place them on the belly or on the lowest ribs. Start to feel the breath coming and going. In and out. Right from the top here, let's see what you can relax in the body, what's not necessary to grip at this moment. Maybe take a scan through, notice your brow, your jaw, hinges of the jaw, the back of the neck, where the skull meets the neck. The shoulders, can you let the shoulders go a little more? And the hips, the pelvis, with each exhale, can you allow the pelvis to just surrender a little bit to the floor? So letting the breath come and go, and letting each exhale drop you a little more to allow the floor to receive you. Let's take the right knee and hug it into the chest. You can hold on top of the shin, or you can hold the back of the thigh between the knee and the calf, whichever's easier for you, more comfortable for you. You can keep the left knee bent, or you can extend the left leg long. Either way, see what works for your body, your low back. And just rock that right knee a little bit out to the side and in, or even make circles, little circles, see what's comfortable. Just finding the sense of the femur bone, the leg, the thigh, as it connects to the hip socket, the hip joint. Little movement of the synovial fluids. Starting to juice things up a little bit. And then one more time, hug that knee close in. If the left leg is long, see if you can extend through the heel, and also the ball of the foot as if you were standing on the floor with that left foot. Soon we're going to take these things into standing. And now take hold to the strap with either side of the strap, with both hands, and extend that right heel towards the ceiling, heel into the strap. And you can just hold the strap, or if it's more comfortable on your hands, you can kind of make a loop around with the strap and then let your hands and fingers go a little. That's easier than gripping and grasping. Send that right heel towards the ceiling. You feel some sensation begin to build in the back of the right leg. And breathe. Trying to find some stability today in the standing leg, as it were, the left leg, in the legs in general, in the pelvis. And feel how that relates through the abdomen and up through the torso. Take both sides of the strap into the right hand. Take your left hand to your left hip or left thigh to ground it if the leg is elongated. And of course, you can also continue with the left knee bent. We're going to take the right leg out to the side. Make sure that left hip doesn't pop off the floor. Extend through the right heel. You can keep a bend on the knee if it's more comfortable than working with a straight leg. But we want to start to build some sensation through the inner line of the leg, through the inseam of that right leg. And then as you're ready, come back up to center. Release the strap for a moment, point and flex through that right foot. And then take some circles with the foot. One direction and then the other direction. And then bring the right sole of the foot back to the floor. Extend the left leg long, again, like you're standing, like you would be standing on the ground, and let that right knee just drop out to the right side. So what do you have here? You have tree pose, essentially, on the floor. Take your hands to your hip points, your hip bones. See that they're even. Stay steady and firm with that left leg, that standing leg, so to speak, and let that right knee just relax, flop. You can even take it in and out a little bit if there's gripping. Keep some movement on it. Just feel the sense of being supported through the back body, once again, by the floor, by the earth. Where can you let go? How can you make this pose easier? And then draw that right knee back up to center. And we're going to switch legs. And just for a moment, you might want to pause in between and see if you have if you notice any change in sensation through your legs, through your torso. And then we're going to hug that left knee in. Right knee bent or right leg lengthened along the floor. See what you need. And take that left knee a little bit out to the side and in, or make circles. It's a little bit of gentle movement. Some easy movement for the left knee, the left hip. And then come back to center once again. Take the strap on the left foot. Extend up towards the ceiling. Again, see if you can take tension out of the fingers, the wrists, out of the shoulders, out of the neck. So notice as you draw on the strap, is there anything extra kind of affecting the upper body? Can you bring some ease? And let sensation build in the back of the left leg, just noticing. And then take both sides of the strap with the left hand and bring that left leg out to the left as you ground the right hand to the hip or to the right thigh, the upper leg, just letting the palm ground the thigh down, ground the hip down. Just feel direct experience of your breath coming and going. And as sensation builds, smooth, easy breaths. And then come back to the center, remove the strap, a little pointing and flexing through that left foot. And circles with the ankle, one direction and the other direction. And then you bring the left sole of the foot down to the floor. If the right leg is bent, the right knee is bent, extend the right leg long. Take your hands to your hips, see that they're even, and then just let that left knee drop out to the side. And you can come in and out a couple times. Notice the effect of that movement on the back of the pelvis. And you stabilize yourself. Even in this lying down position, maybe drawing the navel a little more toward the spine, a little lift of the lower abdomen upward. Just an easy tree pose, an easy release, hopefully, for the inseam of that left leg. And as you're ready, bring the left knee back up towards center. And then the right knee. You can either stay here in this constructive rest position, just allowing the floor to receive you as I share some teaching, continuing to breathe and be there, or if you prefer to sit up, take a long spine, then go ahead and do that. We'll be heading next to standing, just so you know what's coming. So I'm thinking a lot, as maybe so many of you are, about the Russian invasion of Ukraine and its relationship to the upcoming holiday of Purim. And I can only speak for my own experience, although I think it's true for so many. We're fearful, we're upset, and our world is so shaken. And how can we make sense of this a little bit? And I wonder if it helps just to clarify from the beginning. I think I have no answers, but I do have a lot of questions and a lens through which we might observe. I wonder if it's helpful to note how history repeats itself and try to see this in a grander perspective, to zoom out a little bit, to be able to see this moment in history in some senses as archetypal and bigger than just this moment. So, how do we connect this to our Purim story? And it seems like it's in so many ways just not a stretch. First of all, just to share with you that as I've been away these last couple of weeks, one of the things I was working on and performing was a concert of Yiddish theater, history of Yiddish theater. So songs written between the 1880s and the 1940s, largely from Ukraine. If we think of cities like Kyiv and Odessa and Lviv, that's where a lot of the Yiddish theater found its beginnings. And many of these lyrics, this poetry, is about hardship, about pogroms, about immigration, about the relationship with Ellis Island, with the U.S. and immigration. So it's so topical still today. And that's been one thing that, really just watching history repeat itself. So Purim, right? We have Esther, whose name derives from the word that means hidden, like Hester Panim, when God hides God's face. And we have the word Megillah, which comes from the Hebrew root of being revealed. What is revealed? So Purim is this holiday of what is hidden and what is revealed. We wear masks, and it's so interesting that as we start to take our COVID masks off, we're masking up for Purim. So the masks are symbolizing what's hidden and what's revealed in our identity. Purim is about confusion of identities and perspective, that identity is dynamic and it's shifting and it's not black and white, but that identities have gray areas, have multiplicities. And also, on top of that, the idea that we can all play various roles in the play, like when we put on costumes and we see ourselves. So multiple identities, right? Esther and Mordechai, they're Persian and they're also Jewish. And how do they shapeshift within that? And we can look at Volodymyr Zelensky as the Esther, as the Mordechai in this story, the one who refuses to bow to Haman and his multiple identities, right? Zelensky's first language is Russian. He's Jewish. He also holds his Ukrainian identity. He has a former identity as a comedian and an actor, and even was a winner on Ukrainian Dancing with the Stars, and now he is a Jewish president in a historically anti-Semitic place, and he's even been compared many times now with Winston Churchill for protecting his country, really standing up like a lion to protect his country. And standing up and saying, I don't want escort out of the country, I want help with ammunitions. And he was able, just like Esther, right, to find a better relationship with the US and the EU, both between each other and also for support for Ukraine on things that he needs. It's very interesting that the name Volodymyr Zelensky and the name Vladimir Putin are the same name, right? One in Russian and one Ukrainian. And what does that say or tell us about separating and merging identities? Purim is a holiday that tells us that the Hamans, that the tribe of Amalek, will keep appearing, right? Will keep appearing. And the Jews, wherever we are, will keep resisting anti-Semitism, will keep resisting terror. Purim, then, it's a call to fight tyrants. It's a call to fight tyrants. Purim is also an orchestrated chaos, right? Everything in Purim is hafuch, is upside down. We wear costumes, we drink, we're supposed to lose control on purpose in order to gain control, right? We're told that we should drink until we don't know the difference between Mordechai and Haman. We should drink so we understand what it means to be drunk on power, right? We should understand moral ambiguity between all of these players. And we perhaps can even recognize that there's capability for Haman behavior, for bullying, for tyranny within all of us. So, here is Putin, this Haman character, on a mission of brutality, on a mission of propaganda, media censorship, way beyond what we've seen before, totally upside down, totally hafuch, calling the Ukrainians drug-addled Nazis, right? Which we know is not true. And in fact, he's the person who wants to purify the Russian identity into Russian identity as a Christian identity, as a Russian Orthodox identity, is white. So there are all these kind of factors, I think, that go into seeing this holiday of chaos and upside downness and identity and what we can take from it. So lastly, I want to mention the 4 mitzvot of Purim. We want to hear the Megillah read, right? And the Megillah has its own distinctive trope, its own cantillation pattern. It's a universal story. It's a recurring story. We have to remind ourselves not to despair at negative forces in our world, but to stand up to Hamans. The second mitzvah is matanot la'evyonim, gifts to the poor. We must send aid wherever it's needed. wherever it's needed, and there are so many ways we can do that. Mishloach manot, giving gifts to our neighbors. We don't become hardened, but we practice generosity through Mishloach manot. And Seudat Purim, a ritual meal, the final mitzvah. So Purim should actually hold bodily pleasure in a way that counteracts it, balances it out with Yom Kippur, which the Zohar tells us, that the austerity of Yom Kippur and depriving the body should be balanced by Purim and giving the body a practice of holiness, right? Being embodied. So I thought that we would try to stabilize ourselves a little bit within this upside downness. So let's come to standing. And take your belt. Have your chair nearby. So you're gonna loop your belt, right? Going through, if this is the kind you have, it goes through and then it goes back over just like a belt buckle, and then it's tightened. And you want to take that belt roughly inseam to inseam of your shirt if you go across the upper chest. And we're gonna belt the arms just below the elbow. Now, if your shoulders are really tight, you might want to just lengthen and take a nice high V. That's an option I want to put out there first. So you'll see what amount you need, but if it's available to your shoulders, you're going to bring the arms into the straps. Push the arms out against the strap as you lift and raise up the fingertips, lengthen through the fingertips. The feet can be either together or hip width apart. Just find this extension through the fingertips. Can you find the heels on the floor, inner and outer heel? Can you lift and spread the toes and then lay them back down so you have a nice surface area for the whole foot, grounding. Feel the heels, feel the back line of the body, and extend evenly through thumb and all fingers, but especially that feeling of thumb and wrist evenly extending, and thumb and pinky evenly extending so the wrist is even. Find some lift of the rib cage away from the pelvis. And a sense of the pelvis grounding, helping to ground the legs down. Nice length, and breathe here. And as you're ready, you can come on out. Bring your chair over to the right side. We're going to simply take the right knee, the right foot up to the chair. It's like kind of an easy tree pose right here with some support. Just feel that right hip drop. Feel the stability of the left side holding you. Just let this be so easy, and especially for the inner leg. And then, once again, belt the arms, take the arms up. And breathe. And notice if when you bring the arms up, is there any extra efforting that's coming into the hip? Can you just leave be? Let that sitting bone drop. And then we'll take it to the other side. You can either turn around or take the chair to the other side. Bring the left foot up. You could also take the left hand to the inner left knee and just let the arm draw back a little bit. Draw the knee back. So knee, thigh moving backward, sitting bone dropping down. Once you find some ease into there, just really leaving be. And bring the arms up. So once again, pushing out through the strap and up through the fingertips gives you a whole extra bit of length here. Let the gaze be soft, easy. Okay, and then release. We're going to now either take the same thing again, if you like, with the foot up, or you can take tree pose, and you can balance with the chair, or you can just be freestanding, tree pose. So wherever you are, taking the sense of this to its next place, either staying right here or balancing, but just don't have the foot against the knee. You want to have it either above or below. And then if you also feel comfortable on your balance, belting the arms, bringing them up. Soft, easy, steady gaze. Wherever you are in tree pose. If the foot is against the leg, pressing especially the outer edge of the foot to the leg and the leg to the foot. And then release. And take the other side. So again, it can be the leg up on the chair, it can be tree pose with some balance to hold, or it can be freestanding. And so wherever you are, other side. And then as you're ready, coming on down. So, keep your belt with you. We're going to stand and we're going to bring the right leg either forward to the chair seat or to the top of the chair. Again, this is going to depend on the back of your leg. Or if you want to work on your balance, bringing the leg out and freestanding. So lots of choices here. So bring your leg up wherever is comfortable for you. Make a horseshoe with your hand of the thumb to the first finger, and then take that horseshoe right into the top of the hip. And as I'm doing, pull it kind of out and down. So you ground that right thigh down. And then once again, the arms. Bring them up. So come up and down a couple of times and see if you can, in this movement, pay some attention to what's happening in your abdomen. Can there be some lengthening of the abdomen and also some hollowing? Maybe you feel a sense that the abdominal organs sort of settle to the back body. There's some space. And then come on down. And we're gonna staying with the right leg. So we were here, we're gonna move to sideways. So the leg is either extended on the chair, it's extended on top. Just like we did lying down. Find your even hips, and then once again, bring the arms up. Let that right sitting bone drop. And feel that line of the back body. Feel that lift. Good. And then come on down and we'll switch. So take your left leg either to the chair or to the back of the chair, or free standing, holding with your belt or finger to big toe. Once again, take a horseshoe with that left hand. Roll that thigh out and down. And can you take that right thigh back in space? Just a feeling that it's moving back. Notice, again, what's happening in the abdomen. Just soften a little. Find some length. And then we'll take the arms up one more time. And again, feel what happens in the abdomen, in the side waists, the back of the neck, as you lift the arms up. And then come on down. And it's same leg, the left leg, out to the side. So again, either to the chair seat or to the top, but what we don't want to have a hike up of that left hip. Right toes are pointing forward. And once again, finding some lift. As you're ready, releasing down, release the leg. We can put the strap to the side. We're going to take a forward fold with the feet either together or about hip width apart, lengthening so that the spine is long, tailbone draws away, thighs are drawing back, and belly button moves towards the spine. So see what works for the backs of your legs. They might be quite open at this point now in class. So maybe your hands are to the chair, or forearms, or forehead. Or maybe you don't need the chair at all, you just want to fold forward. Find some length between the base of the ribs and the tailbone. Some length for the low back. And as you work on drawing your thighs back in space, again, notice, is there some hollowing of the abdomen? Some lengthening. This really helps us with stability. Heels down. Soften the belly. So really just honing in, finding that little bit of, for me, I find it a sense of hollowing is really a good word, a hollowing of the abdomen. Letting the inner groins, the inseams of the leg also draw back. And then as you're ready, come on up. So that was that, and all of that is preparatory work for Warrior 2, which we'll look at now, right? The whole sense of the stability of this area. So take the legs wide, turn the left toes in and the right toes out. The front heel is in line with the back arch. You can keep the hands on the hips if you like for stability, or inhale the arms out at shoulder height. Take the gaze over the right fingertips. Inhale here and exhale. Bend through that right knee. Just let it track forward. Not going past the ankle. Here you are in the pose. And you can come in and out a couple of times if you like. You can take your right hand to that inner right knee. Draw it back a little bit. So how does this feel in the inseam, in the inner line from the right groin to the right inner knee? And what's the sense in the abdomen? Breathe and be here. It's very poised. It's very full-bodied. It's very elegant, actually. And we're reaching back with those left fingertips, grounding ourselves in the central line in the torso. And as you're ready, come on up. We'll turn sides. Left toes in, right toes out. Inhale the arms up either to the hips or to shoulder height. And then exhale. Let's take it to the left. Gaze over the left fingertips. Right fingertips extending back. Maybe just taking a look down, taking that front arm, the left hand to the left inner knee. So you can just draw it back a little bit in space if that knee is floating forward. Right, so maybe the knee doesn't come very far, maybe you don't drop very far, that's fine, whatever your inner thighs are allowing, but you don't want the knee to go past the ankle. Breathe into this expansive shape. How does it feel in the abdomen? And then as you're ready, inhale, come on up, straighten the legs. We'll turn the toes to point forward, take the legs even a little wider, and then the outer edges of the feet are even with the outer edges of the mat, are even turned in a little bit. We're going to fold forward from here. So hands to the hips, drop the tailbone, inhale, lift the heart, and as you exhale, fold forward. So you might want the chair for some stability here. So go ahead and grab that if you would like that, or the hands come to the floor. Lengthen the crown and the tailbone away from each other. You could pause and stay here at this halfway point. Let's have the whole pose just right here. If you're happy, enjoy it. Draw the thighs back, hollow the abdomen. Or if you like, start to bring the head towards the floor. Move the fingertips back in line with the toes. The elbows at 90 degrees. Drawing in toward each other. Right, so wherever you are, just feeling this pose, and specifically the drawing back of the thighs and the hollowing of the abdomen. As you're ready, unravel it. Take the hands to the hips. Inhale and come on up. We're going to come to seated. Last pose. You might want a little bit of height sitting up on the blanket for your hips. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together. So either in close to the body, or if that's not a happy thing for your knees and knee flexion, then you'll want to take the ankles a little bit forward, more like a diamond shape is just fine. So either in close or a little further out. Take the hands behind you. Press into the fingertips and draw the elbows toward each other to lift the spine. I'll show that from the side. So if you have a real sense of rounding here, we want to try and lift up, and that's where the hands can help. We have a long, tall spine. We did a lot of work on the inner legs, so this is hopefully nice and a little bit more open than when you began. You can stay here tall, or if you like, begin to fold forward. Again, inhale, lengthen, long spine. And then use the exhale to drop in a little more on the forward plane. As you're ready, come on up. Stand the legs long, just give them a little shake out. If you've got that blanket, you might want it for under your head or have it by the side to place over you as we move toward final relaxation. Coming down to the floor one more time. Just pause in this constructive rest position. Once again, knees bent, soles of the feet to the floor. And everything drop. And then one more time, let's find some length. Lengthening the legs. It can be feet together or hip width apart. And lengthening the arms overhead if your shoulders will allow, so that the backs of the arms are to the floor and the palms face up towards the ceiling this time. Spread the fingertips and reach out. Flex the feet and reach out. Lots of length. Just breathe here. And then exhale, bring the arms back. Bring the knees in, give them a hug. Any way you like. It can be a hug of the knees, it could be happy baby, holding the outsides of the feet and drawing the knees down. See what your lower back is wishing for. And rock it side to side or take circles with the knees. Something nice and easy. One thing that we can ask ourselves as we move into this week of Purim is, what are the personal masks, identity masks that I wear, that each of us wears? How do I want to be hidden, and how do I want to be revealed to myself and to others? And as you're ready, just coming into a final relaxation of your choice. Maybe the knees are bent, maybe the legs are long. You might want to rest your lower legs on the chair. Those are a few options. See what works for you. See that you're warm. A few minutes of quiet, of surrender. Let everything go. begin to deepen the breath. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. Give a stretch out of the body, a nice stretch, yawn. Take your time, bringing your knees back to your chest. Rolling over to one side, just pausing in a fetal position. You can use your upper arm as a pillow for your head. Pause here, breathe. Feel yourself in this body, in your body. And as you're ready, pressing up to a comfortable seat. And take a hand to the belly, to the low belly, and a hand to the heart, to the chest. Feel your breath coming and going. I am dedicating my practice, and perhaps you might consider joining me in also doing so, dedicating my practice to the citizens of Ukraine, the people of Ukraine, to their well-being, to their courage, to their safety and their peace. Breathing into that dedication and that possibility. As you're ready, release the hands. You can allow the eyes to flutter open. I wish you Chag Purim Sameach and Shavua Tov this week.